I was angry, I think like a lot of Americans. The I also had expectations that this would become an issue that would absolutely dominate our time in office. It's as though our whole focus had to shift to what came to be called the global war on terror. George made it clear fairly early on during the day, as I recall, that it was his sort of informed judgment that this was an al-Qaeda attack, that given the size and the scale of the attack, the sophistication of it, that there weren't very many organizations in the world that could mount that kind of an attack against the United States. We both concluded that it was an act of terror and that we needed to say that. Then he got on the plane, flew back to Washington with the plan that that evening he would address the nation about the attack and explain to everybody, as well as send the message out around the world that the U.S. government was in business. We were functioning. We'd been hit hard, but we were still in business. It really marked one of those moments in history when you know that whatever's coming next is going to be different than what you would have expected if you'd had to make a prediction yesterday. One of the things that emerged out of that was what came to be referred to as the Bush Doctrine, the idea that the president talked about that night, that we would hold accountable not only the terrorist for their actions, but also those who had supported the terrorist. If a nation provided sanctuary or safe haven for a terrorist organization that committed a terrorist act, we would consider them just as guilty as the terrorists themselves. Until 9/11, our main consideration with respect to terrorist attacks had been to treat them as law enforcement problems. We'd go out, we'd find the guilty party, we'd put them on trial, and then lock them up. But 9/11 changed all that in the sense that this wasn't just a criminal act by a handful of individuals. It was an act of war that never before had we lost 3,000 people in a single morning.